Namaste. So I'm going to read Book 6, Chapter 19, under the description of the marriage of Sukha. Sri Sukha said, O king, this great doubt arises in my mind how a man can be free from desires and the rewards of their actions when he lives in the midst of this samsara that is all full of maya, when even by the acquiring of wisdom of the sastras and the capability to judge which is real and which is unreal, the delusion of the mind is not dispelled until one resorts to the practice of yoga. How then can freedom from desires and liberation come to a householder? The darkness of a room is not destroyed by the mere mention of lamp, light, so the wisdom acquired by reading the sastras can never dispel the darkness of delusion that reigns in the inside of a man. O Lion of Kings, if one wants moksha, one ought not to commit any act of revenge or injury or killing any being. How can this be possible to a householder? Your desire to acquire wealth, to enjoy royal pleasures, and to get victory in battle have not yet subsided. How then can you be a Jivan Mukta? O king, you consider yet a thief, and a saint. You consider a man as your relative, who other than that, these ideas have not vanished from you. How then can you be called Vidiha? O king, you feel the pungent, bitter, astringent, sour taste, and the like. You feel good and bad rasas, respectively. You become glad when success comes to you, and you feel sorrow when you happen to fail. And to experience the three states, waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, as an ordinary man does, how then can you be called to attain the Turiya, fourth state? May I ask whether you cherish this idea that all these infantries, cavalries, chariots, and that all these elephants are mine? I am the Lord of all the wealth and things. Or whether you do not cherish this idea. O king, I think you eat sweet and good things, and at times feel pleasure, and at other times feel pain. So, king, how can you look on the garland of flowers and the snake as one and the same? O king, he who is a Mukta Purusa considers a lump of earth, a piece of stone, and gold as of one and the same value. He considers everything to be the same Atman and does good to all the beings. Whatever that may be, I do not find any pleasure at present with houses, wife, etc., or with anything. In fact, what my heart's desire is that I roam alone, always without any desires in my heart. Therefore, I like not to have any companion, to be free from any attachment, and to be peaceful and calm. I do not wish to accept anything from anybody. I will forgo all pleasures and pains from cold, warmth, etc. I will sustain my life on roots, fruits, and leaves, obtained without any effort, and will roam as I like a deer. When I have not got the least attachment to the household life, and when I am beyond all the attributes, what necessity have I then of house, wealth, or a suitable wife? And when you think of various things with loving heart, and yet say that you are a Jivan Mukta, that is nothing but a mere vanity of yours, O king. When you think and become anxious about your enemies, about your wealth, and sometimes about your army, how then can you be said to be free from cares? What more can be said than the fact that many munis, eating moderately and controlling their senses, and leading an unchurched life, and knowing the unreality of the world, fall victims to the Maya? Then what need there is to talk of you, O king? Know that the hereditary title, Vidiha, to your line of kings indicates downright insincerity. Nothing can be other than this, as the name Vidyadhara, holder of knowledge, is applied to an illiterate man, as the name Divakara, son, is given to a born blind man, as the name Laxmidara, holder of wealth, is given to even a poor man. As these names are quite useless to me, I have heard that the kings of your family, who were your predecessors, were called Vidiha, a name only and not in deed. O king, in your family there reigned a king named Nimi. Once on a time, that royal sage invited his guru Vashishta to perform a sacrifice. When Vashishta said, I am already invited by Indra, the lord of the Devas, to perform his sacrifice. So, O king, let me first finish his work. I will then take up your work. Better go on collecting the sacrificial material till that work is complete. Thus saying, Vashishta went away to perform Indra's sacrifice. On the other hand, the royal sage Nimi selected another priest and made him his guru and began his sacrifice. Hearing all this, Maharishi Vashishta became angry and cursed him thus, O forsaker of your guru, for the crime of forsaking your guru, let the body be destroyed today. At this, the royal sage too cursed Vashishta. In his turn, let your body fall off also. Then the bodies of both the persons fell. But, O king, this curiosity came to my mind, how the royal sage, whose body fell before, cursed his own guru afterwards. Janaka said, O lord of Brahmins, what you have said is, in my opinion, all quite true. Nothing is false. Still here, know what my most worshipful Guru Deva has spoken to me is, in fact, true and nothing else. You are now intending to quit the company of your father and go to the forest. Well and good, but even then you will undoubtedly have the company of deer, etc. See also that when the 5 elements, earth, water, air, etc., are present, encompassing everywhere, how then can you expect to be free from all companions? So, Muni, when you will have to think always of your food, how then can you be said to be free from all cares? Again, even if you go to the forest, you will have to think there also for your staff, deer skin, etc. So you can take my case too of thinking of my kingdom, whether I think or not, as your thinking of staff, deer skin, etc. Your heart is tainted with vikalpa jnana, knowledge of doubt, duality, etc. And therefore you have come here from a far off country. But my heart is free from any such doubt, and I am remaining quite cheerful here. O best of Brahmins, I have got no doubt whatsoever on any point, and therefore I take my food and go to sleep with great pleasure. I am not bound up by this world. Thus idea gives me constant happiness of the highest degree. But you consider that you are bound, and therefore you feel always constant pain. So leave off your idea that you are bound and be happy. This body is mine, this knowledge leads to my bondage, and this body is not mine. This knowledge leads to freedom, so know this verily, that all this wealth, kingdom, etc. are not mine. Sutta said, hearing these words of the royal sage, Sukadeva became exceedingly glad and pronounced, Sadhu, Sadhu, true saint, indeed a true saint, well said, and went back without any delay to the pleasant ashrama of Vyasa. Vyasa too, seeing his son come back, became very glad and embraced him and took the smell of his head and asked about his welfare again and again. Then Suka said, well conversant with the sastras and ever ready in studying the Vedas, sat by the side of his father with an enlightened mind in his lovely ashrama, and thinking of the state of the high soul Janaka in his kingdom, began to feel the highest peace Though Suka adopted the path of yoga, yet he married the daughter of a Muni named Pivari, very beautiful, fortunate, enhancing the glory of her father's family. Then were born first the four sons named Krishna, Gaura Prabha, Bhuri, and Devasruta, out of the sperm of Suka and the ovum of Pivari. And next the daughter was born named Kriti, and of them Vyasa's son Suka, endowed with the fire of asceticism, gave the daughter Kriti in marriage in due time with the high-souled Anuha, son of Vibraja. As time passed on, a son was born of the womb of Kriti and the sperm of Anuha, a son who became the powerful king Brahmadatta, the knower of Brahma and endowed with wealth and prosperity. Some time elapsed when Anuha, the son-in-law of Suka Deva, getting from Narada the Maya Vija and highest knowledge of yoga, handed over his kingdom to his son and went to the hermitage of Varrika and became liberated. The Devarishi Narada gave him the mantra, the Vija of Maya, and by the influence of that mantra and by the grace of the Devi, the knowledge of the Supreme Brahma arose in him without any obstacle and gave him liberation. On the other hand, Sukadeva, always averse to any company, left his father and went to the beautiful mountain Kailasha. He began to meditate on the unmoving Brahma and thus remained there. After some time, the highly energetic Sukadeva attained Siddhi, supernatural powers, Anima, Laghima, etc., rose up high in the air from the top of the mountain and began to roam there. And then he appeared like a second sun. When Suka arose from the peak, it severed into two, and various ominous signs became visible. When Sukadeva, appearing like a second sun by the dazzling brilliancy of his body, suddenly vanished away like air and became diluted in the Paramatman, entering into everything and became invisible. Then the Devarishis began to chant hymns to him. On the other hand, Vyasadeva became very much distressed with the separation from his son and cried out frequently, "O my son, alas, my son, where are you gone?" And went to the summit of the mountain where Suka did go and wept bitterly. Then Sukadeva, who was then residing as the Paramatman, the internal controller of all the beings, and with all the beings, knowing Vyasadeva as very much fatigued, distressed, and crying, spoke out as an echo from the mountains and trees thus: "O Father, there is no difference between you and me. Considered in the light of Atman, then why are you weeping for me?" Even today, the above echo is clearly heard almost daily, seeing Vyasadeva grieved very much for the separation from his son and always crying, O my son, Bhagavan Maheshwara came there and consoled him, saying, "O Vyasadeva, your son is the foremost of the yogis. He has attained the highest state, so very rare to the ordinary persons that are not self-controlled. So do not be sorry anymore, O sinless one. When you have realized the Brahma Tattva, then you ought not to express any sorrow for your Sukha, who is now stationed in that Brahman. Your fame is now unrivaled only on account of your having a son like him." Vyasadeva said, "O Lord of the Devas, O Lord of the world, what am I to do now? My grief does not quit my heart anyhow or other. My eyes are yet satisfied in seeing my son. They like still to see the sun." Hearing these sorrowful words of Vyasa, Bhagavan Mahadeva said, "O Muni Sardula, I grant this boon to you, that you will see the form of your son, abiding in shadow, very beautiful, by the side of you, O destroyer of enemies. Now abandon your grief by seeing that shadow form of your son. When Bhagavan Maheshwara said so, Vyasa began to see the bright shade from his son. Granting thus the boon, Bhagavan Mahadeva vanished then and there. When he vanished away, Vyasa became very much distressed with sorrow for the bereavement of his son and returned with heavy heart to his own hermitage. Thus ends the 19th chapter of the first skanda on the description of the marriage of Sukha in the Mahapurana, Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses. Om Chanti Mangala.